All right, Shalom. First off, I want to start out by saying all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kadash. That's all praises who the world ignorant calls God in Jesus Christ. The true name is in the Hebrew is Yahweh for the Heavenly Father, Yahushai for his beloved Son. I also want to say double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to the hopeful elect, preaching and swearing the truth and sincerity. This is the brother Tazabah with the Great Millstone, Arizona camp. Lord will with another video to edify. And man, prophecy, man. You know, and I want to say this, man, because it's very important to remember what the Lord establishes and does, and what He kicks off does not stop. You know, we went from the year of judgment to the year of the Charagma, which is the chip in the book of Revelation, and now we're in the year of prophecy. You know, all these things are moving forward and combining into this year. So we're in the year of judgment. We're still in the time of judgment. We're still in the time of the Charagma, the chip. And we are now in the time of prophecy and bringing all these things together. And everything is happening so fast. The beginning of 2020, we're in week 3, and big moves are being made as far as the mark of the beast being implemented at a global rate, you know. So I'm gonna read some of the articles. I got some videos, got some scriptures. We're gonna let the Spirit deal, man. You know, we are living in times where the scriptures are going to speak. Now, this is article by RT. It says digital dollar. It says RT's boom bust explores crypto dad's push to digitalize the greenback. What is the greenback? You have to understand that. It says greenback, a dollar bill, a dollar. It says greenbacks were paper currency issued by the United States during the American Civil War. They were in two forms: demand notes issued in 1861 to 1862, United States notes issued in 1862 through 1865. They were legal tender by law, but were not backed by gold nor silver, only the credibility of the U.S. government. And it's the same way. So now they're sitting here saying that they want to make the greenback, the US dollar, which is the global reserve currency, digital. What does that mean as far as globally? That means if every country deals in US dollars and it goes digital, those countries would have to go digital by proxy. And we're going to keep going into this, and I'm going to show you how it ties into the chip, which is the mark of the beast. Now, we're going to read a little bit on this. I'm going to jump forward, go to this video, because they try to dismiss the fact that this thing is going to happen, but it will happen. Now, this is it says former U.S. financial regulator J. Christopher Carlo, also known as a crypto dad, for his support of cryptocurrencies, has announced the launch of a think tank to push the idea of digitalizing the U.S. dollar. It says boom bust talks to international regulatory attorney Miles Edwards about the possibility of converting the greenback into a fully electronic currency using blockchain technology. Show you what blockchain technology is. Salakia. All right, so make sure this stuff is still rolling straight. All right. So it's a blockchain is a transaction database shared by all nodes particu- participating in the system based on the Bitcoin protocol. A full copy of a currency's blockchain contains every transaction, ever executed in the currency. With this information, one can find out how much value belonged to each address at the point at any point in history. So they're going to use this to sit here and make an entire network of information that tracks all transactions. There'll be no credit card, there'll be no fraud, there'll be no getting over, no getting paid under the table. This is why in some states, I remember this is probably back in like 2015, 2016, some states were actually making it illegal for people to have garage sales because there was no way that the state would get any tax off of that. So this brings me to the video. There's a lot of beautiful edification in this video. There's a lot of information. We're going to get it.
We're going to live in a cashless society, right? Well, tonight we ask, when is it really coming? And what's it going to mean? How's it going to affect my life, your life? Good, bad, indifferent? NRS correspondent Michelle Greenstein joins us now to answer these questions. Michelle, you've been working on this for 48 hours now, or something like that.
Sure.
And what have you found out?
Well, to answer your first question of is it coming, the short answer is yes. We see the latest example today in Greece. Greeks now must spend at least 30% of their income electronically. And if they don't, then they will face a 22% fine on the shortfall. So let's say you only spend 15%
Right.
And not 30, then that remaining 15% will be fined 22%. Now, let's remember that all...
So what of that? So instead of you spending 30%, this is how Esau gets down, man. It's through paperwork, draconian law, right? 30%. You only spend 15. So you're left with 15%. Then that remaining 15%, you're going to get 22% on that 15%. 37. Let's say you make $500 times 0.015. Oh no, 0.15. That's 15%. $75. That's the wait. Let me do it. 500 times 0.3 is 30%. $150. It's 30% of 150. Right? Say you only spent half of that. So that's $75, right? So let's do $75 plus 37 or plus or times 70, clear that. 75 times 0.37. That's an extra $27. Now put that into a $30,000 a year job, $20,000 a year job, whatever. Put that into that. Imagine you getting taxed on your money because you didn't spend it the way they wanted you. It's draconian law. This is how the Esau gets down, man. You know. So this is 2 Corinthians 2:11. It says, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." This is the device. This is the craftiness that he has. You know. Now, peep what she says, man. This is a juicy video.
Already in Greece, we have any bill under 70 euros must be paid either electronically via check or by a credit card. So in this instance, using cash is not just taboo and not just financially de-incentivized, but actually illegal. But the truth is, Rick, this is symptomatic of a global trend. We had in India in 2016 the government declaring without warning that the two largest denomination bills would actually become invalid. What we're looking at now is some protests that were against this policy, which did, by the way, abolish over 80% of the circulating cash by value. So the owners of this cash could recoup their value by putting them into a bank account after a very short grace period. But the problem, of course, is that half of Indians do not have a bank account. It's a very largely cash-based society. So we had a lot of backlash in India after that was introduced in 2016. But what few know, Rick, is that this policy that was imposed on India actually...
Peep this. He said, what few know, the policy that is enforced in India was actually what?
Has its roots in Washington. USAID had negotiated a series of agreements with the Indian Ministry of Finance, and one of these was actually with the goal of phasing out cash, so less than 1 month.
Now let's go to ID 2020. This all this stuff is getting juicy, man. Identity is vital is vital for political, economic, and social opportunity, but systems of identification are archaic, insecure, lack adequate privacy protection, and for over 1 billion people inaccessible. Digital identity is being defined now, and we need to get it right. It says ID 2020 Alliance is setting the course for digital ID through multi-stakeholder partnerships, ensuring digital ID is reasonably implemented and widely accessible. Identity got enormous, man, and I wish they just had a Wikipedia page for it, because what the ID 2020 Lance is doing is basically bringing in that mark of the beast system. It's basically tying in a global network, where she just covered how the U.S. pushed a policy over there. How the U.S. pushed a policy. Let me see if I can go back a little bit.
Finance, and one of these was actually with the goal of phasing out cash. So less than 1 month before Prime Minister Modi announced this policy, roots in Washington. USAID had negotiated a series of agreements with the Indian Ministry of Finance, and one of these was actually with the goal of phasing out cash. So less than 1 month before Prime Minister Modi announced this policy, USAID actually established a cashless payment partnership with the Indian...
Boom. Why is that important? The greenback is a global reserve currency. If they tell you you need to get in this system, that means you need to get in it, or you will be able to do no business globally. Now, peep this. How does it go? This is Psalm 73. It says, they set their mouth against the heavens, their tongue walketh through the earth. It says, therefore, his people return hither, and waters of a full cup are wrung out to them. And that's what we're seeing, you see? His tongue's walking through the earth. So he's sitting there telling another nation telling another nation how they need to do business to the point where now they have to sit here and change their whole monetary system. You know, who has the power on the earth to do this but the so-called white man? Does not the scriptures tell you in the book of Job 9:24, that earth is given into the hands of the wicked? You know, this is who has the power of the earth. Now, I'm going to play more of this video and I'm going to get to the next one.
Indian Ministry of Finance called Catalyst.
Help me understand this from a total rudimentary perspective, because there's a lot of people out here who are watching this right now who are thinking, you know what? I'm okay with not having to use cash. I'm more apt to get robbed. It's so easy to lose it. You know, I like using a credit card everywhere I go. I like this cashless system. Help them understand why they should hold on to the cash system.
Well, let's ask ourselves who benefits from a cashless system. The most obvious instance, is banks, of course, right? Going cashless prevents a banking crisis, because traditionally, when negative interest rates become too great, people will withdraw their funds, right, and hold cash. But paper currency is what allows for these bank runs, so that's impossible without cash. So that's the most obvious example.
Boom.
It's quite significant that the largest...
Boom. That's not the scripture say. Let me get it. And in the book of Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter, remember not thy creator in the days of thy youth, before the evil days come, before you say, I have no pleasure in them. Does it not say, did she not say bank runs happen when you have economic collapse, people running into the bank to pull out their cash? It makes it impossible to do so when you have a cashless society. This is Proverbs 11:4. It says, "Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness deliver from death." You see? Now I'm gonna stop on that video. Lord will remember to put all these videos in, or brothers can just look at these videos. Matter of fact, and see it. Now, this all ties into this. Now, this guy, it tells you exactly straight out of Nick Rockefeller's mouth what the plan of the elite are.
The Communist Manifesto, they've been brought in because of the Federal Reserve System. Okay? So the ultimate goal that these people have in mind is the goal to create a one world government run by the banking industry, run by the bankers.
ID 2020, global currencies that are all digital.
And they're doing it in sections. The European currency, the euro, and the European Constitution is one part of it. Now they're trying to do it in America with the North American Union, right? And they want to create a new currency called the Amero, right? And the whole agenda is to create a one world government where everybody has an RFID chip implanted in them. All money is to be in those chips, right? There'll be no more cash. And this is getting me straight from Rockefeller himself. This is what they want to accomplish. And all money will be in your chips. And so instead of having cash, anytime you have money in your chip, they can take out whatever they want to take out whenever they want to. If they say you owe us this much money in taxes, they just deduct it out of your chip digitally.
Total control.
Total control. And
boom. Revelation 13 and 16, it says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the number of the beast or the number of his name." This is going into that RFID microchip, man. And this is a system that's coming about. They're showing you the legislation that's happening globally. They're telling you exactly that they're trying to get this going on. The U.S. has made a policy for these other countries. You know, those little things that you don't get to hear about and make policy for these other countries to be able to do deals with them, they need to sit here and reduce the amount of cash that flows so they can implement a digital currency. Because at some point, Babylon the Great, which is America, is going to implement that. And these countries need to be down. And this is the scripture speaking, bro. We're in those times, man. This is Habakkuk 2 and I'll start at 1. It says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon a tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables that he may run that readeth it. Is that not what we're doing? We're going through this thing. We're digging. Why do you think the brothers are watching news and stuff like this all the time? To be able to pull out the prophecies. It says, measured out the time diligently in itself. How do you measure the times? Meaning you look, you read, you observe all events in the world, and you tie it back into the scriptures, man. Verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. And we're at the end, man, because all the prophecies, we're in the year of prophecy, are speaking. It says, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And that's what we're seeing, man. These prophecies are coming to pass. Now, if you take that chip, if you take that chip, man, that's your ass, and that's scriptural. A lot of people like to play games and act like they can sit here and do this. Oh, I'll take it, but at the last minute, I'll pull it out of my hand. Oh, I'll take it in my left hand. It says if you take it in your right, then you get in trouble. No. You can play with the Lord as much as you want, but the scriptures tell you, tempt ye not the Lord. Let me get this. Yeah, Revelation 14 chapter. That's what it was. Revelation 14. I'm not as crispy as other brothers were. They're able to remember exactly the chapter and verse. I remember the words perfectly through the Lord, This is Revelation 14 and 9. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and received his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High. So if you take that chip, that's your ass, man, which is poured out without mixture into a cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone. Meaning, when those missiles shoot off, you're going to be left there for that punishment. It says, in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, meaning for a long time. And they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast. Because when you take that chip, man, that's you saying your allegiance to something, man. There's a righteous mark spoken of in Ezekiel the 9th chapter on the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations done in this place. That mark is the Wa, which means exemption from judgment in Ezekiel the 9th chapter. But in here, this is charagma, meaning an incision, a pallet, a stake, something implanted, an imprinted mark used for record keeping. That's what the chip does. That's why they're talking about blockchain technology, man. The apostles have talked about this. Other brothers have talked about this. This is what's happening, man. It says, and they have no rest day or night who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever received the mark of his name. You see, if you take that chip, man, that is your ass, bro. A lot of people like playing goddamn games. But to the men that have the integrity and have the blessing from the Lord to not take part of this is Revelation 15 and 2. It says, "And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire," meaning that firmament, man. It says, "Only with our eyes shall you see the reward of the wicked." Why? Because the Lord is going to pull us up into the ships, into his chariots. And we're going to be able to look down. And that sea of glass that glass is talking about the atmosphere. And mingled with fire is talking about when those missiles start hitting. And them that had gotten victory over the beast and over his image and over his mark and over the number of his name stand on the seat of glass having the harps of the Most High. And they sang the song of Moses, the servant of the Most High, the song of the Lamb, saying, "Great and marvelous are thy works, Yahweh, power almighty, just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints." See, this is going to be the victory when we're able to sit here. What does it say? No evil shall touch the head of the elect. The Lord's not going to let his elect be taken by these things. That's when you get the victory, man. You got to have the integrity to get that victory, man. You got to pray. We have to pray to get that victory. This is Revelation 16. And Revelation 16, and I started one. It says, "And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, Go your way and pour out your vials of the wrath of the Most High upon the earth." And I first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noise and a grievous sore on them which had the mark of the beast. And this is before those missiles hit, man. And upon them which worship the image. Now, they have 5G towers, right? The only way this mark of the beast is going to help, is going to work to actually track people in real time, is this 5G technology. It's instantaneous. The problem with 5G technology, though, is the wavelength of 5G technology is so tight. It's literally up, down, up, down, up, down. Where 3G and 4G is a elongated wavelength. Now, imagine you just getting radiated and you have an antenna in your goddamn body that's sitting here calling those wavelengths over to you. You're going to get radiated. That's why those sores are going to pop up on people. It says, "And the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and it became as the blood of man, and every living soul died in the sea." You see, and this is how the Lord going to get down, man. This is going to be the reward of those people that sit here and take the mark of the beast. And I'm gonna get this next one, Revelation 19. And maybe 18. Well, I'll start at 19. "And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat upon the horse and against his army." And this is talking about Yahweh Shai. So the beast is talking about NATO and the EU, going back to the Roman Empire, all those vassal states and everything that made up NATO in the Roman Empire. That's the beast. The kings of the earth, those ones that rule those nations. It says, "And the armies gathered together to make war against him that sat upon the horse and against his army." Who's that set upon the horse? It's talking about Yahweh Shai, and his army is talking about the angels, the chariots, even thousands of thousands. Verse 20, it says, "And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrote miracles before him, which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and then that worship his image. These both were cast alive into the lake of fire," that thermonuclear destruction. into the lake of fire burning with brimstone. And the remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse. Meaning, if you haven't been hit by those nukes, the Lord is going to be shooting out of his chariot with swords proceed out of his mouth, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh, man. Meaning the Lord is going to do a lot of killing, and people are just going to, and the birds of heaven are going to be able to eat, man, off of that. The Lord said he has a supper for the fowls of heaven, and they shall drink the blood of kings. It's going to be the last one, Revelation 20. And I'll start at 2, and it says, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. And this has already happened, right? This is a history. The 1,000 years was after the, what is it? I believe it's the Byzantine Empire, when Esau went down, and then he started coming back into power, right? It says, and cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him, that he should not deceive the nations anymore till 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loose a little season. We're in that little season, man. We're at the end of that little season. You know, that 1,000 years where he deceived the nation, you know, he came back into power, right? You have the Roman Catholic Church, and then you have the Holy Roman Catholic Church was when Jake was ruling it, right? So it says, verse 4, and I saw the thrones, and they that sat upon the thrones, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai. You know, and that's talking about the men that are doing this truth now, man. Some of us may have to be martyrs, man, but the Lord sat there and told you, precious in the eyes of the Lord are the death of his saints. So if somebody puts their hand on us, what did it say? Fire proceeded out of their mouth, and by fire, and in such manner they must die if they put their hands on us. So you have to have that faith for yourself to believe that the Lord is going to put these devils down, man. In my mind, and I know it's easier said than done, but in my mind, if I go down, when the Lord raises me up, man, you better believe there's going to be hell to pay. It says, and for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast. This is for the ones that didn't worship. These are the elect. Neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. None of us. You know, this is man, Lord will, man. I do not take that chip. Baba Kushaya, do not let me take that chip, man. I want to get this victory. It says, and he lived and reigned with the Mashiach 1,000 years. And this is what we're working for, bro. But we have to sit here, and in that hour of temptation, being presented with that chip, life and death, choose death rather than that, man. You take that chip, man, you were a slave on this side, and when you were given the opportunity to be a free man, you still chose to be a fucking slave. You know? But that mark of the beast is coming, bro. And this is just the beginning, man. So Lord willing, this edifying. I want to say, call Allah Yahbashim Yahshai, by Shimmer Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to the hopeful elect. Hey, shalom.